Hi guys, we are going to talk about our research project today that you were working on in here and in your classrooms. I know that you have not yet picked your endangered animal. I know that that's going to be happening in your classrooms this week. So I am going to talk to you about the graphic organizer that we're going to be using for the project, and I am going to talk to you about some of the ways that we can use the databases to find information. So even though we're not finding information about our creature today, because we don't know what our creature is, we're going to go over kind of how to do that so that when you do pick your animal for your research project, you'll have a better idea of how to search for some of the things that you have to find. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the library database. Remember, there are a few different ways you can get there, but I'm going to go by going to, I just went to fairfaxcounty.edu, and then I clicked on the library tab. All right, and then once you click on the library tab, you go to online databases and ebooks, and we're going to look at ones that we know are good for animals. So the ones that are probably the best is sometimes you can use Pabogo Animal. You might find something there, or we can use Britannica School or World Book. Okay, so we're going to take a look at those. I'm going to start by going to Britannica. So I'm just down here, and all of the databases are in alphabetical order, but I'm just going to search for Britannica and see what pops up. So I hit the search button, and then I scroll down, and I'm going to go to Britannica School. So for my project today, we're going to do it with the axolotl. That was one of the animals that we read in the book last week that's endangered, and I know that it's not on your list. So I know that we'll be doing this for practice, and nobody's going to end up with this animal. All right, so I'm going to start with elementary, and I'm going to see, let me make sure I spell it correctly, axolotl. And it looks like they have 3 different entries, so I'm just going to spell it, and then I may click on different ones. All right, so I'm going to go back. I don't think I spelled it correctly, so let me pick one. Okay, let me see if I can find something. So it looks like that's not necessarily what I'm looking for. I'm going to go back and click on this one and see if I can find anything this way. So notice, even though I clicked on it, it had the word axolotl, it's most of the entries that I'm getting are just about Mexico, which is not going to help me with my project. And this is one of the things that you'll have to do too. You'll have to put in your animal in the search box, and depending on what animal you pick, you may or may not be able to find anything. So I'm going to go back and try the third thing I saw pop up for axolotl. Try that one. Okay, and notice I'm not getting anything on this animal at Britannica School. So what that says to me is that I need to try the other databases to see if I can find anything there. So I'm going to go out of this, and now I'm going to try World Book. And this is something that may happen in your projects as well. Okay, you may end up going to one place and then realizing that they don't have the information that you need. All right, so I'm going to scroll up, and then in the search, I'm going to get rid of Britannica School, and I'm going to put in World Book. All right, and we'll see if this has any other information. I may have to decide if I can't find anything in any of the databases, I may decide to pick another animal. And if that happens to you, that may be something that you would need to talk to your teacher about, because you'd have to have permission. You couldn't just decide to change it by yourself. Okay, so now I'm in World Book. I'm going to go to axolotl, see if I get anything here. Okay, so notice here I got one entry, one encyclopedia article. So I will click and see if I can use this. Okay, so it looks like I do have an article that I can use for my project. Maybe. I haven't read it yet. I don't know if it has the information. The other thing that I need to show you is how we're going to use this with our graphic organizer. So if you go to your Google Classroom for 3rd grade writing, I know that's one that you have made with your classroom teacher. I also am in it now, so I'm going to see if I can find it. So here it is, 3rd grade writing. And then you'll notice that Miss Carol updated the graphic organizer. So I'm going to click on it. Okay, and I'm not sure how much you've gone over this in class, but this is ultimately what you're going to use to find information for your project. Okay, so notice you'll have to figure out where it is in the world. You'll have to say why it's endangered, what efforts are being done to conserve the amount of animals left, and what could you do to help. And then in addition, these things. What type of animal is it? A bunch of things about appearance, where is its habitat or shelter, what type of is it? Is it a meat eater, plant eater, both? Some interesting facts, and then what predators there are for your animal. Okay, so let's say that I was doing this for the axolotl. I have to use my database or my article, and I have to search for this information. All right, so if let's say I start down here. Okay, let's say I just started with an appearance question. If I wanted to know the size of the axolotl, I'm going to stop and think for a second. What are some key words that I would look for that would go with size? So I know that size is probably about, not weight, because that's a different question underneath, but probably about how long it is. So I might look for words like length. I might look for units of measurement. So I might look for centimeters or inches or feet or something like that. Those are the words I'm going to look for that will help me find an answer to this question. All right, so notice, by the way, I'm only looking for one question at a time. So I'm just looking right now for what is its size. So I'm going to go back to the article, and rather than reading word for word, I'm going to see if any of those things pop out at me. One of the first things I notice is if I was looking for size and I said I was looking for units of measurement or words like inches or centimeters or length, look at this sentence right here. So I didn't read the whole thing, but those words, inches or centimeters or length, already popped up. So I've already answered one of my questions, okay? Axolotls can reach 12 inches or 30 centimeters long. That tells me I'm already going to use some of the information in this article. If I'm going to use this article at all, I need to do something that's really important right now because I have to make sure I remember every article I've used, and we'll talk about that next week. So I have to email this article to myself. So if you end up using one of the articles on Worldbook, you have to email it to yourself as well. So I'm going to go here. So notice Tools, and then I'm going to go to Email. Okay, so then you're going to type in your email address just like I'm typing in mine. All right, so type in yours right there, and you can put your name if you want to. Okay, and if you want to leave yourself a message, you can put, I am using this article for my project. You also don't have to put anything in the message if you don't want to. Okay, so you'll hit send. All right, notice it says mail sent. Okay, you have to do that for every article you plan on getting information from. All right, because later we're going to go back and we're going to figure out how to do citations, and you have to be prepared to tell me every single article that you've used. So any article that you find that's going to be useful, you need to email it to yourself. That way we'll have it and you can pull it up easily later. If there are more than one person working together, I suggest that you both email it to yourself just to be safe, that everybody who's working together ends up with a copy of it sitting in their email. Okay, and I would use your FCPS Schools email. I wouldn't use anything else. All right. So notice I'm definitely going to be using this article. I'm done. All right. I would probably go back and look at a different question. So notice I would have my answer, and I could go ahead and answer it right on the graphic organizer. It said it could be up to 12. Oops. It could be up to 12 inches or 30 centimeters long. The other thing that's really important is that I do not copy this word for word. I want to take the information, but I want to put it in my own words. Even though we're going to give credit to the source later on, it is considered plagiarism if you take a sentence written exactly the way that's worded. So don't do that when you're writing it down. Just write down the main idea. And what is the thing that I want to understand? I want to understand that they can reach 12 inches or 30 centimeters. So in here, I'm just going to write the fact. I'm not even going to write the words that go with it. That way, when I have to go put it in some type of presentation or product, I will create my own words. Okay, so notice I've answered the question. All right, so look at the next question. What is weight? Think again, what are some key words that I would skim for to find the information? I may not read the entire article. I would probably look for, I don't know, pause here for a second and see if you can come up with your own words that you would skim for if you were trying to figure out the weight of an object. Okay, so now that you have had a chance to think about it, what keywords would you search for if you were looking for weight? One of the things you're going to do right now is you're going to get a page that looks like this. And what you're going to do is, these are some of the words that you're going to have to answer questions about. So like, what's the size of your animal? What's the weight of your animal? What color is your animal? Camouflage, things like that. And I think I spelled camouflage incorrectly, so let me fix it. There we go. So what I'd like you to do right now, without even looking at any of the databases, I just want you to brainstorm. If this was something you were trying to figure out about your animal, what are some keywords you would look for? So notice right here, we've already done that. All right, we looked for words like centimeters, inches, long, or length. Those are words that we look for to find the answer for the size of our animal. Now, remember, if you have a very large animal like a whale, you're probably not looking for inches. Your keywords would have been a little bit different for that. So think about your animal. For us right now, we're going to think about the axolotl. So whatever words you think of for weight, you are going to write them down here. And then same, if you're looking to see what color your animal is, the word color may be one of the words that you search for, right? I'm probably not going to search for the word size, but I searched for those other words. Some of these, they may be some of the words that you use, okay? If I know, for instance, that I'm looking for, let's go back to our whale example, then I might be looking for a word like gray or something that I might think might be the color. So then you have camouflage, predators, carnivore, herbivore, omnivore, habitat, shelter, conservation, endangered, and location. Let's just pause for a minute, and I want you to do a few keywords for each of those things. And remember, for some of these, one of these words may be your keyword, and that's okay. So let's pause here and do that. So once you've put in some of your keywords for this, what I'm going to have you do, you probably don't have much time left, is get into groups of 2, and you can get help with that. And then I want you to see, based on the words that you thought would be keywords, you're going to go into the databases, again, using the animal axolotl, all right? We don't know which animal we've picked for our topic. And I want you to see if you can skim, which remember means not reading word for word, but just kind of looking with your eyeballs, kind of roaming over the words and seeing if any of these words pop up for you. You're going to skim for any of your keywords and see if you can find out the information, okay? And if you can, then that's something that you found for the axolotl, all right? So you're just gonna, this is basically our practice today with using keywords to find information for an animal. So take some of these keywords, look up axolotl in the database. Remember, we didn't find anything in Britannica School. We were on World Book right here where we found something. So this may be where you want to go on World Book. You might also want to try PapaGo Animals, all right? And there was that one website we found, A to Z Animals, that would be appropriate. And use some keyword search skills to see if you can't find the answers for the axolotl. I also have a copy of the graphic organizer that you will end up using for your project. If you want to have a copy of that as well to hold while you're looking, you can, even though you don't have to fill it out today, since it's obviously not the animal doing, but it might just help you as we're going through, then you're more than welcome to have a copy of that, okay? And when you do get your animal this week, remember that we're going to be doing these same exact things. You're just going to be doing it with your own animal, all right? Finding keywords is very, very important when we're looking for research. Okay, so you don't have a lot of time on computers, so just pick, after you have your keywords, what you're going to be looking for and see if that helps you, if you're able to find answers. Okay, good luck.